So hey guys, what's up? So welcome to World News 20 News channel. So let's talk about why China has emerged as the epicenter of global outbreaks of disease. Several deadly new viruses in recent years have emerged in China-Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, SARS, bird flu, and now the novel coronavirus. The reason could lie in the busy food markets dotting cities across the country where fruits, vegetables, hairy crabs, and butchered meat are often sold next to the bamboo rats, snakes, turtles, and palm sherbets. Closely packed stalls in busy marketplaces, the Chinese taste for exotic meats, and the high population density of cities create the conditions for the spread of zoonotic infections, experts say. Zoonotic infection, the relationship between zoonotic pathogens, those of animal origin, and the global pandemics is not new. The Justinian plague and the Black Death, yellow fever in South America in the 16th century, the global influenza pandemic in 1918, and the modern pandemics such as HIV, SARS, and triple resistant H1N1 influenza have one thing in common: the causal organism came to humans from animals. The World Health Organization estimates that globally about 1 billion cases of illness and billions of deaths occur every year from zoonosis, diseases, and infections naturally transmitted between the people and vertebrate animals. Some 60% of the emerging infectious diseases globally are zoonoses. Of the over 30 new human pathogens detected over the last 3 decades, 75% originated in animals. Animal markets and wherever there is close mixing of humans and animals, especially the unregulated handling of blood and other body products, as happens, for example, in China's animal markets, there are greater chances of transmission of virus from animals to humans and its mutation to adapt to the human body. A senior WHO functionary told the news from Geneva, it is not just China. The official said it has opened wherever in the world there is unregulated mixing of the humans and animals, either wild or domesticated. The official referred to the law outbreak in Africa. There it was wild chimpanzees who had the disease. It came to humans after these were killed and consumed. Animal markets were breeding grounds because they were free of interchange of pathogens between species and mutations. Dr. K.S. Reddy, former professor of the AIIMS and president of the Public Health Foundation of India, noted that the majority of the new outbreaks and pandemic threats of the past 5 decades had risen from microbes transmitted from animals to humans, either directly or through an other animal reservoir host. Proximity to animals grows from the wild food markets and captive animal breeding, with deforestation creating a conveyor belt from viruses and vectors to move from the wildlife to the captive animals and from them to humans. The wild food markets in China offer both a mix of many animals, which however deadly viruses, and an opportunity to transmit with these two crowds of humans whose taste for the diversity of wild as well as close-bred animals provides a conveyor belt for animal to human transmission. Once the virus gains entry into humans whose travel and transport animals, the infection spreads. Dr. Reddy said the more virulent strains emerge from the mutation which occurs with the one large human host community offers itself for easy transmission. Dr. Reddy said the human folly opens the ecological window, and microbial genetics says the opportunity deadly viruses can play the Chinese checkers globally from species to species. This happens in other parts of the world too, but the Chinese taste for exotic animal foods and the population density makes it prime playground for zoonotic infection. He said ecology of the infection spread with a population of nearly 1.4 billion and 50% of the world's livestock. Chinese ecology poses a risk of emerging, re-emerging, and novel diseases that could threaten China and the rest of the world, said the U.S. Federal Agency Centers for the Disease Control and Prevention. Moreover, the world's growing network of air travel routes dramatically increases the risk for infection or rapidly spread and for potential pandemics that can cause illness, death, and costly disruption to global trade, the CDC states. The SARS epidemic began in November 2002 in the Guangdong province of the southern China and spread across the world. Birth flu of the various provenances of the virus case mutating have been repeatedly reported from China after the first H7N9 novel avian influenza outbreak of the 2013 and 2018. A 68-year-old patient from the Jiangsu province was infected with the H7N4. Last year, there was an outbreak of H5N6 bird flu in Hozhou in the far western Zhejiang region. In the wake of the one coronavirus outbreak, Dr. Takeshi Kase, original director for the Western Pacific WHO, with China Falls, wrote, "This new year wake-up call reminds us to vigilant against SARS, bird flu, and the causes of the more recent outbreaks in the region. In fact, 2 of the last 4 influenza pandemics began in the Western Pacific region, home to 1.9 billion people and a hotspot for outbreaks of emerging infectious diseases and natural disaster. There were threats that put people's health and safety and economic development at risk. It is fair to ask, are we safer from health security threats that we were at the following the H1N1 influenza pandemic or than we were when SARS emerged 17 years ago?" So if you like the channel, so kindly subscribe to it.